Will the Chicago Bulls make the playoffs? Let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA. Yes, I know I haven't made a Bulls video in quite some time here, but that is because they didn't give me a reason to, and for the most part, I was kind of frustrated with how they were playing. But the Bulls seem to have turned things around here, people, and right now they're coming off, I believe, their most impressive victory of the entire season, which is against the Philadelphia 76ers, a very good team, a championship contender in the Sixers. And the Bulls, I know it took double overtime, but they got it done, man. And it was a fully healthy Sixers team. It wasn't like anybody was out. Joel Embiid had a Joel Embiid type game, 30-plus points, 15-plus rebounds, but the Bulls still won. Why is that? That is because, despite Joel's numbers, the Bulls, if you watch the game and you've been watching lately, have become a very good defensive team. Almost at an elite level is how they're defending. And that has led to this kind of turnaround here. Now, I'll be the first to admit to you, when the Bulls first signed Patrick Beverley, I thought, hey, this isn't really going to do anything. And, you know, it is what it is. And Pat Bev is a nice role player. And, you know, obviously he's a good defender. But I didn't think it was going to change their season around. And it kind of has. All right, so I'll be first to admit I'm wrong there because Patrick Beverley has had more of an impact than I thought. But it's not just Pat Bev. And maybe it is because of him the other guys are playing well, but Zach's taken his game to another level. He is playing like the guy we paid the max contract for. DeMar's kind of got his game back to where it was last season. Vooch is not playing scared. He's been fairly aggressive. Patrick Williams, he's giving the flashes. And so it's kind of like putting everybody in their place. Billy Donovan's doing better in terms of coaching. And since they've acquired Pat Bev, they're 8-4. Okay, they're 8-4 and in the thick of the playoff race. Now, as things currently stand, they're 10th right now, which is the very last spot of the play-in. Okay, and we've got obviously a handful of games left. But that very last spot, they're sort of separating themselves, right? They are right now, after this victory, 34-37. The team behind them, Indy, just lost today to the Hornets. Like, I think the Bulls are, I wouldn't say, you know, it's hard for me to say lock, but I think they are as close to a lock for the play-in as possible with the way they're playing. I know their schedule isn't that easy, but it seems like they will make the play-in, man. I really do, right? You only need to be 7 through 10 to make the play-in. Playoffs, different story, right? Because you have to obviously be a 1 through 6 seed or win the play-in tournament to get into the playoffs. So we're talking playoffs here. Will they make the play-in? Yes. All right. Right now they sit 10th. And then you got the Heat, Hawks, Raptors ahead of them in that order. And honestly, in terms of the games separating them, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. The Bulls can make maybe a little bit of a run here. So I feel pretty confident in them making the play-in tournament just because the teams below them are pretty weak and the Bulls have been playing much better. And so that's why I'm going to say that. As far as the playoffs, if we want to project them to make the playoffs, currently, if they stayed at the 10th seed, they would play the Toronto Raptors, right? And they would have to beat the Raptors twice in order to get the ability to get the 8th seed. And I believe they can do it. I don't think it's, you know, that difficult. The Raptors are a solid team, but I don't think it's impossible. Certainly, I'd like to play probably the Atlanta Hawks over the Raptors just because the Hawks don't play defense. But I think the Bulls can beat any of these teams. The Bulls team right now, you guys need to understand, man. If you guys haven't watched the Bulls recently, they're a completely different team than they were at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, they did not play any defense. They weren't a cohesive unit. They didn't have an identity. And they were just lost. That's why the only consistent thing about the team was their inconsistency. Well, fast forward to today, present time, and the Bulls have an identity, which is their defense. They have become a very good defensive team. They are playing cohesively. Guys know their roles. Everybody's kind of fitting into where they need to go. So, overall question being, will the Chicago Bulls make the playoffs? And my answer being they could, but I would probably say that it's a little bit more difficult than I would see, and I probably still lean towards no. I think they will make the play-in. But with the way they're playing right now, I could certainly see it. So I know I'm kind of flip-flopping here myself, but I'll say yes, definitely for the play-in playoffs. I'm going to say You know, it's a 50-50 shot. If you put a gun to my head, I'm probably going to say 51-49 they get in, just if they're playing this way. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. And here's the other thing I want to just point out, man, because I know a lot of people, including myself, have mentioned this before, and it's frustrating, but I got to say it. With all of the things being said about the Bulls right now, the ceiling for this team is still limited. I mean, this is still not a title contender. And so you've got that crowd that will say, what's the point of winning these games when it's better to tank than, you know, be a first-round exit? And to that, I would say, I agree. I agree. And I said this earlier. I said the worst thing that could happen is the Bulls go on a run here and then management thinks that, hey, we got to run this team back next year because, hey, we saw flashes from this team. This is not a championship contender team. They've got the pieces for it, but it's just not it. So there are things that would need to change or you would need to rebuild. So even if they make the playoffs, we're still talking about a first-round exit, right? You're going to play in Milwaukee. Well, you just beat Philly, we'll see. But 7-game series, that's a lot of games, right? You have to beat them 4 times, not just once, 4 times. So it's still a first-round exit of a team. And I struggle with that because to me, if you're not first, you're last. And I don't like the fact that that's the Bulls ceiling, but at this point, I can't control anything besides just what I'm seeing. And, you know, I like what I'm seeing and I'm enjoying it, but at the end of the day, this team does have a ceiling, folks. And it's not a title contender, and that's what sucks. I wish we could just rebuild this team the right way to where I could see the path to contention. But right now, I just don't. Right now, I'm just enjoying the ride, which is the Bulls playing well, 8-4 since they got Pat Bev, and they're going to be in the play-in. And the playoffs, we'll see. But they'll at least make the play-in. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.